No.
Once again,
That with the echo.
asks
That with the
for
echo.
consent.
In the creepiest way humanly possible.
Do we all give consent for tonight's Zoom recording?
Consent to enter.
Consent to enter, the man says. Well, here we are for a special edition of what is our podcast, Hot Tag Reviews. It turns out that this is episode 18. 18. And
illegal.
Today's a bit of a milestone, but we'll talk about that in a minute. For now, I am Rob Campbell alongside.
I am the 1 second jobber in the only 2 second match on the card.
He didn't even said his proper name.
Doesn't matter. People should know who he is. That's how I feel about the situation.
And I'm Daniel, not that it's any old concern, but fuck you and fuck off and leave me to my illusions. Cornfield. I'd
like to know what sort of lotions, but maybe that's an after hours edition.
It might be that version, yeah.
Yeah, ending $10 extra happy ending.
Well,
this is going to get me tonight.
A year has now passed since we started filming content and consent, and we've grown quite a bit in that short amount of time. Our very first podcast was the very first In Your House, which was all the way back in 1995. We then, from January this year, went on to start reviewing every WWF and WCW pay-per-view in order up until WrestleMania 17, covering what is thought of as the hottest era in pro wrestling that led to the death of World Championship Wrestling. But as we approach the 1997 King of the Ring on our timeline, which you can head over to our YouTube page to check that journey out, tonight is a first, because tonight we talk about NXT Takeover In Your House 2021. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy to think. Like, one, we've already done a year, and secondly, that this is taking us a year to do one modern pay-per-view.
I mean, you haven't done a year. Me and Martin grew a bastard child and decided to keep him.
I'm just like my parents.
That's who likes that French commentator, John Bastard.
John Bastard.
John Bastard.
Love it. He's the only Frenchman I'll ever accept. It's like John Bastard. Why? Well, his name's John Bastard. No, John Bastard.
Well, if you want to be a true John Bastard, it's nearly Father's Day, and I know that John Bastard he's heading over to Max Spielman in East Central Mary.
That's such a good segue.
You're welcome. I'm trying to do my job properly tonight. So anyway, John Bastard, it's nearly Father's Day. He's heading to Max Spielman, East Central, Merry Hill, where, believe it or not, his good friends at Hot Tag Reviews have provided a discount code. That discount code is the world famous Hot Tag 10. And what that can get you at Max Spielman is 10% discount on photo gifts, prints, frames, ID, or portraits. Just mention Hot Tag 10 to any member of staff in Max Spielman, 8 Central Merry Hill, to redeem that offer. Let's go! We are live! And we don't have to step into John's DeLorean.
You can leave it in the garage today.
We can leave that one in the garage.
Where do you want the entrance intro?
Right now.
Wherever you fucking put it, motherfucker.
At the end.
I don't know where you're going to put it. You are ribbing me left, right, and centre. The thing is, as this records, I've got a rib for you that's going on our social media page. Simple as that. Look out for it. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. We are here to discuss WWE/NXT. Just NXT. Takeover In Your House 2021.
Which actually would be 29. I've just looked. It would be the 29th edition of In Your House.
Oh, okay.
If you went by numbers,
yeah,
the last of the original lot was St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Did they give that one a number, did they?
No, but they
Okay.
are number. After a certain point, they just stopped doing numbers.
Yeah.
Like
So
Bad
in
Blood
your
and stuff, yeah.
In your
Yeah.
house, like Rock Bottom. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, like Degeneration X or whatever. They
Ground
were still-
Zero must have been the last one with a number, I think. 17. Could be wrong. Put Rayman to the test. Let's see how I get on. I think Canadian Stampede was 16.
And what was the last number?
Ground Zero, I'm thinking. If Bad Blood didn't have one, I'm thinking Ground Zero had one.
Okay.
Am I incorrect?
Canadian Stampede
Yeah.
is number 16. You're correct there.
Okay, but there's
Ground
one
Zero
missing.
is the first that didn't get numbered, and that was 17.
Oh, so that was, yeah.
So Stampede was actually the last officially numbered pay-per-view, yeah. But if you look at...
I was close.
You were closer than I would have.
Don't forget as well, it was that obviously that the very first episode that we did, we said, let's do the very first In Your House. And that was like 26 years ago.
Yeah.
It's mad to think.
Crazy.
The scary part is as well, there's probably performers on this show tonight who weren't even born at the point of that show coming out. So
wow.
When you think about it like that, but yeah, this is the 29th edition of In Your House, if you go by numerical order.
Well, the 29th edition of In Your House was at the Capitol Wrestling Center, also formerly known as the WWE Performance Center. It's in Orlando, Florida. There was 300 people in attendance, and it was live on the WWE Network to more than 1.5 million subscribers. And the reason I'll go through that is on our normal year-to-year, month-to-month pay-per-view gimmicks. We'll talk about the buy rates. We'll talk about the attendance versus the capacity. I think it's only fair to do the same in this modern era, being that it's a COVID or nearly post-COVID edition of a wrestling show. So here we are. We are going to be talking about In Your House Takeover. And the introduction, obviously, Don, what did you write in your notes? Because you told me this before we come on the air.
Yeah. So my first note I wrote was, opening will make Rob jizz, and it's the 1990s intro with the NXT twist.
It's absolutely correct, because we still get that for the revolutionary force in sports entertainment. But we get for nearly a decade. It's a retro feel and vibe. Let's go. Let's do this. Yeah. Todd Pettingale's voice is all over it with a classic voiceover.
Yeah.
Take me back to the 90s. Indeed, he does. They're advertising pretty much all the matches on the card, including the women's title match, the $1 Million Championship ladder match, Mercedes Martinez versus Xia Li. The 6-man title match is the best way that I can describe it, as the North American and the NXT tag team titles were on the line. And the main event, which is a fatal 5-way for the NXT title. Classic 96 music starts playing in the background when they're talking about the main event, and I just got absolutely goosebumped to fuck at this point. I'm not sure how you boys felt.
I must say, I probably didn't feel the RL Stein as much as you did, but I certainly felt something.
Well, it's aimed obviously people who would have watched the older style as well.
Yeah.
And the new, it's the superstars and the way they've done the matches now is for the younger generation, but they've chucked in that older feel. Didn't have to do that. The setup on the stage and the intro, but it's caught it's caught people like it caught you. Like, wow, this is great.
Hooked me.
Some nostalgia needle stick right into your brain.
Literally, it was like adrenaline to the heart, man. It was great. Doc Hendricks turns up as well. I'm going to call him that because obviously that's who he was in 95, 96.
It looked like he was doing an episode of like Saturday Night Takeaway in his little booth. The audience,
literally. Like, he was like this, wasn't he?
Yeah, in his little soundproof booth.
That was spot on, Rob. That was spot on.
I do try.
Boom, covering everything. Beautiful.
It was class. Naomi Fox comes out to hype the crowd and mimes the In Your House song that she's produced, which was very disappointing.
She ain't doing Mania next year, then he's like,
nope.
Doing miming, just not there.
Yeah.
I thought Poppy was like meant to be the performer for this show because I know they had her on the TV previously.
She's been on, she performed at the last event. She's been involved in the storylines a little bit, especially when it involves Xia Li, because of the connection to her gimmick and obviously their gimmick. But she was nowhere to be seen. There's no rhyme, there's no reason. I haven't done any research to understand the reasons why behind that. So fuck you before we start.
Also, a lot of unanswered questions today.
There will be, and if you've got answers, leave them in the comments. Todd Pettingale comes out to an arousal of ovation, and that was just me watching it at home. What a soul patch and what a suit.
Oh, that suit. That suit.
Look at him.
On a lesser, I swear to God, I jizzed when I saw that. So already you've got 2 out of 3 of the hosts of this jizzing.
Mate, it looks fresh as well.
Yeah,
it's very like
looks great.
He's got no like crow's feet. You know, there's notes as well. A lot of makeup's obviously probably gone into it as well. But you know, come on. You know, this is how old is he? He's got to be in his 50s now. Mid-50s.
See how old that is.
Let's have a look at the Google machine.
Well, the first one, he must have been in his 20s when he's only 26 years ago.
55 years old.
Good
Todd Pettingale.
So, he wasn't only 19. Is that right?
He weren't very
29.
old. So.
29, wasn't he?
It's going to be around 29, something like that.
Yeah.
Still though,
he looks great.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic.
I remember seeing him on an episode of Edge and Christian's show that reeked of awesomeness on the network, and I saw him for the first time. I was like, oh my God, he actually hasn't changed.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant.
He's like the Will Smith of wrestling.
Joe, obviously, Shawn and Triple H as well, right? They used to like fucking take the piss out of Michael Cole, didn't they? Like in '97. Yeah. But you think in '96 when Shawn was champion and Triple H was sucking him off, like Todd Pettingale was the one doing all the interviews and all the fucking like video overs and stuff like that. So for them to bring him back, I feel it shows a little bit of a respect bond to be honest, because
bring back Sean Mooney next.
Sean Mooney, 100%. I'm down for that. Yes. Bring him back.
Them two together, fucking,
amazing.
That's mega powers. Mega powers.
That is the mega powers of the announce booth.
Yeah.
Match one. So the NXT Tag Team and the NXT North American Championship in a 6-man tag team match. Got Bronson Reed, the North American champion, and MSK, the tag team champions. They're taking on Legado del Fantasma. Your referee is Daryl Sharma. Don, or the Mike Tenay of the booth. Have you got anything for me on these individuals that you want to run through?
I could go through a lot about any one of them, to be honest. So we've got MSK, who probably in the last year joined NXT, former Impact Tag Champions. Under
Spoiler alert, I worked a show with them.
we can all
show off the Radicals.
Yeah,
it was
the Rascals. Yeah.
Oh, the Rascals. So the Radicals was obviously the Radicals had a fucking cockeye, a poet, and a fucking Mean Machine Iceman in it. So
that's a cheat.
We gotta measure it.
The greatest Mexican wrestler ever.
Like literally, just like cockeye, Mean Machine. You know, them and shirts.
Yeah.
So Bronson Reed, who just tore it up on the indies on the way to getting signed, like for a big guy.
Joe, he come down and watched Baggeridge show the one night, Bronson Reed did.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. There you go. Rob showing off again.
I'm just saying
I didn't know
he was there, isn't he? Yeah,
Marmite Bronson.
Marmite Bronson. Marmite Ben. He was sat with Marmite Ben, funny enough.
I was.
Yeah.
No,
it's good.
Shout out to Rob's mate Ben. For Legado del Fantasma, or if you want to translate into English, is Ghost Legacy.
Nice.
Sorry, I looked into it. So you've got Santos Escobar, who...
Don't worry, I looked into it. We got that. That's why we're allowing you to talk right now. Don't fuck this up. I'm giving you an opportunity.
I'm being good, I promise. former. Let me just right now. It was Lucha Underground. He was former champion in there. I believe he was the Gift of the Gods champion.
Just had a belt. just a geezer with a belt. Don't worry about the title.
As he came into NXT, he unmasked, which for Luchador is quite a big thing, as he was a masked wrestler for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Raul Mendoza was actually a part of the NXT or the WWE Cruiserweight Classic tournament, which was the start of the 205. And Whacking Wild, formerly known as DJZ, who I believe Martin has worked a show with.
Yeah.
So
who's he married to? Who's his girlfriend? He's got somebody who's a girlfriend. Rosemary. Is he?
I could look into that.
Look into it for me tonight.
Oh, okay.
Put it in the Google machine.
Is with somebody off Impact or used to be?
Probably might, in the past.
Rebecca Schott.
That ain't a ring name, is it?
It can't be a ring name.
Must have been before then.
Don't know. Anyway, should we carry on with the show rather than talking about the dating loads of people?
Why was she at the show, Marty? Is that where you're going with that, look?
No, we were just talking about her.
Oh, okay.
So you had to meet up with her and stuff because she had like a flight out to London or something because it was on different shows. Obviously, he was up in the Midlands and she was doing a show in London or something. They had to meet at somewhere else. They couldn't fly together or something.
Believe it or not, they do a podcast together.
Oh,
yeah.
It's called Swerve City Podcast.
So is he doing that with Isaiah Scott then, or Shane Strickland?
No, it's him and his missus.
Okay, I just thought the swerve thing.
All I remember is right on the show is
Scott.
Do you
is her ring independent ring name?
Do you remember? What's that Arnold Schwarzenegger film where he gets chucked into that game? Blade Runner.
Demolition Man is in the film.
No.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What is he when he gets
Last Action Hero?
No.
That's the movie.
He's the running man. He's good at running.
Yeah.
And it's a game, ain't he? And he has to go through the different zones with the bosses. Yeah. Like, there's one bloke.
From Paris to Berlin and never disco.
You know the one who comes out and is like all lit up?
Oh, Dynamo.
That's who DJZ looks like.
Don knows.
It was
that is my favourite Arnie film.
And he sings.
Really?
It was actually my favourite Arnie film.
But DJZ was apparently he's a real life DJ, so that's why he's called DJZ. Yeah. Fact.
The way he's called Wacky and Wild now,
Yeah.
I'm all right with it. I think that's a pretty decent name, to be fair.
Yeah.
I guess that Joker's been popular the last couple of years. Obviously, the actor that played the Joker was Joaquin. He was quite wild. Put the two together. You've got yourself a gimmick, haven't you?
Should have just changed it up and just spelt it with a W.
There you go.
Just start with a Batman symbol and made it really complicated.
Yeah. I'm the Batman.
Rachel.
So, where is she? Oh no, Harvey! Oh no!
Oh,
Rachel, don't worry, Rachel. Harvey,
I'll say I'm glad Gibbs enjoyed.
Taker. That's the Rachel scene that leads into Kane being alive. That's fantastic. What a tangent.
Kane in the DC universe confirmed.
Kane was in that fire of them oil barrels.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. He was in that wreckage at the end of the
film. He was alive. Amazing. Fucking hell. Anyway, quick start to the match. Loads of sort of missing spots and high impact moves leads into a standoff of sorts. The second group work pins, quick spots, loads of innovation. Third pair tees a strength off, and then Santos Escobar throws Mendez under the bus, which is hilarious. There was a nice little cut off on Reed utilising the blind tag.
Yeah.
That lasted for all of 5 seconds, as you do. Really good spots from the baby faces, displaying good teamwork, which was surprising. I mean, they even matched their gear.
Yes, I want to talk about this actually because their gear was beautiful.
Well, this is the time to talk about the gear, buddy.
I'll say, Mark, I know we talk about entrance jackets, but how do you rate the gear on this? For both teams, actually, because both sets of gear was beautiful.
It's very 2021, ain't it?
Yeah.
Very, very much.
We've got
so.
used to just black.
Jones has stepped up again, mate.
Nothing wrong with black, man.
Get 10% off with Jones with the code Hot Tag 10.
Nice.
But to be fair, that gear, that gear looks like mine with the spikes.
Oh, on Reed? Yeah.
I reckon
it's
it's
really nice.
How long has he had this gear? Because I've had mine about 2 years now.
I haven't seen him wear this, but I haven't watched a lot of.
Fucking,
I think
there's
the
a
last thing I
copyright
watched.
infringement going on here. No, what?
Oh.
Yeah.
My
Mine's on the
name
side,
is
isn't it?
Blurry Face, and I don't care what you think.
I've been on Crime Watching. Fuck you.
So, yeah, gear out of 10 gets a...
Solid 8 out of 10 Jans for me.
Nice.
It's good.
Jans. Good old Jans. The dive spot was pretty darn sweet, ending with a huge suicide dive from the big man. The crowd appreciated it, although they tried to pump in. So this was the first and probably the last time on the night that they tried to pump in. This is awesome. The crowd just were like, nah, fuck you. NXT, NXT, NXT. And you could hear it over the pumped in. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck off, Kevin Dunn. Fuck off.
Yeah. They need better plants.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, you've only got 300 in there. How can you not drown out 300 people with your sound system? Can you imagine in Planet, you wouldn't hear a fucking thing, would you? Do you know what I mean?
It could happen in Planet, and they could put enough noise in there, you'd hear nothing.
Fucking hearing nothing. Cut off then happens. So there's a bit of a heat section. It's not a massive one. There's some nice spots in there as well as some good hope spots, to be fair. The first hot tag ends up with Bronson Reed. He hits a lovely double Samoan drop during that section. The Michinoku driver was dead close. Dead close. But it looked great. Yeah,
it was the thing is as well, it was a viable near fall.
Yeah.
Especially for a guy of his size taking it at that angle.
Yeah.
If he hadn't kicked out that, I'd have brought it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Completely.
That's the thing, though, with this sort of like style of wrestling nowadays, everything is a lot more on the edge. Like more. It's not as like before. It was like, oh, let's make sure you're safe first. I think it's
because
more
they're
now.
Smart now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Crowd's smart, so you've got to be on the edge.
Yeah,
because otherwise they're like, yeah, well,
I don't buy it. Yeah.
He had a good fucking 5 seconds to lift his head up.
Yeah.
Fuck you, buddy. Have you took this move before, motherfucker?
Takamichi Naito come over to you and drop you on your bastard head. No, fuck off.
Fucking mark. The take out the barricade spot on the outside, that was quite nice. Fucking absolutely took him out. MSK delivers some fantastic offense during this spot. He basically ends up with a baby face. He's going over. Reed hits a huge splash, a tsunami style splash, as the announcers say.
Yeah,
I think that was Mr. Barrett that we can thank for that one. And that's all, folks. Champions do retain. So
Barrett's a good. He's a good commentator.
Yeah,
he's great. He's great. I'll tell you what. The first time I'd seen him commentate outside of a wrestling arena, so obviously he did World of Sport, didn't he?
Yeah,
for 2 weeks maybe. Ultimate Beastmaster, the UK edition on Netflix, is fantastic. First of all, loads of people get fucked up doing this insane assault course, but Wade Barrett's amazing on it. CM Punk's one of the commentators as well, by the way. Like, obviously for the American side, Anderson Silva for Brazilian. Like, but it's fucking hilarious. Just watch it.
It's like
try it out.
Ninja Warrior meets Wipeout.
There you go.
A serious
it's like a modern day Takeshi Castle.
Oh, I love it. That's all that show needed was Craig Charles over the top of it.
Tonight on Robot Wars, you're going to see rape. Okay, Craig, I didn't expect to see that tonight.
Hey, just get back to Red Dwarf. Cat looks hungry.
And there you have it. So 30 minutes, 40 seconds. The champions retain the titles. I have rated this one. And by the way, there is no Dave Meltzer star ratings. He has not released them at this point in time. So we are setting the precedent. 2.5 stars for me.
Ooh.
Okay. I went with 3.
I went 3.5.
Wow.
I really enjoyed this match.
Wow.
And it's so weird. Like I said, we've been watching so much like 97 stuff.
A lot of that is shit, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but we've been watching stuff like the Malenkos, the Guerreros.
Oh, they're great.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a different type of appreciation, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So when you get to like the main event of something, it's like Hogan and Piper or something. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake. So watch them like this bit of
deep breath, count to 5. Count to 5.
A lot of the stuff we've been watching, though, with the late 90s, it wouldn't wash in this type of setting. It just would not. Shall I break it? It would not. You know, the only person that can get away with that is Pete Dunne.
Yeah,
because of the different ways that he can bring it into his spots. Do you know what I mean?
Shall I?
Absolutely.
But he doesn't say it, does he?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm going to do it.
It's like, hang on, he's worked his way. Oh, right, okay, he's worked his... You know what I mean? He tells a story with it. You wouldn't be able to just put somebody into a, fucking
armbar.
Arm drag.
Yeah.
So SummerSlam tickets are advertised, which is followed by a Bailey and Bianca promo video for Hell in a Cell. Looks like... Yeah, it looks like an intriguing storyline, to say the least. It's good to see SummerSlam tickets are being advertised, though, as are live event tickets later on in the show. That's good to see. We're finally getting back to normal, or hopefully. We see Kyle O'Reilly arrive in a fantastic check shirt, I might add. Security and Regal have to break things up as Gargano and The Way. That's right. I remembered the name of the group. Interrupt. So that's cool. But we're back with Todd Pettingale backstage. He's back to let us know what's coming up next using a VHS gimmick. He makes reference to Stephanie Wyan, who did not last. He shit on her all day. We didn't have great chemistry. That's right. She did not last long in the WWE at all. Mackenzie Mitchell is tonight's Stephanie Wyan. Todd gets confused. He goes to drop the VHS in the truck, and then basically Mackenzie's like, just play the VT. We're showing footage from the Mae Young Classic from 2017. Now, lads, the feel that I got for this when they showed us this video, although I understood the history of why they were showing it, because we're going into match 2, which is Mercedes Martinez versus Xia Li, who's with Bo, the sword handler, is the best way I can describe him, and Mae Young. That's right, Mae Young. Mae Young. I thought that, and this is just the way that I got, this is the vibe that I got, that Mercedes Martinez was the heel and Xia Li was the face.
Yeah, but I think that's just the way Mercedes Martinez is. She's always been sort of like, I'd say her best anti-hero. She's sort of a bit of a, I'm the face,
one of them,
but I'll kick the shit out of you. Yeah,
I'll be honest, like pre-match build up with like these two, during the match, post-match, I had not one fucking clue what was going on.
But
I'm putting my cards on the table there. I was, because obviously I don't watch modern. I'll catch a bit of NXT. I will not watch Raw and SmackDown. I'll watch the Rumble and Mania out of curiosity. SummerSlam is a big event, but that's my two. Rumble and Mania. I will not religiously sit down and watch. I'll catch a bit of NXT UK if Rob's mate Ben's on there, But NXT does a lot of good stuff. I won't watch it religiously, but so I don't follow it. But I did not have a fucking clue what was going on.
In fairness, Mark, you don't watch 10 hours of modern day wrestling. That's just WWE's content.
I don't. And I can't consider myself a wrestling fan, obviously. It is what it is.
I can't do it anymore myself, and this is
Time as well.
Yeah.
Who, you know, you refer to me as the Rain Man of WWE, for example. The last 10 years, maybe the Manias, maybe the Rumbles, I can do. Maybe some of the SummerSlams or Survivor Series, but historically, I start going off probably after Shawn Michaels retired in 2010. For me, is when I started dropping off. And even though I was a big Miz fan for like WrestleMania 27, for example, I never really continued. And like, I'll watch the events and I'll try and catch YouTube top 10s and try and keep up with it like that.
Yeah.
But can I sit down and watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT UK, AEW, TNA, New Japan, whatever's out there? Do you know what I mean? I can't do it. I can't do it.
Nah.
It's one of them. It's like a lot of like what Rob said as well. It's like the top 10s and that help.
They do.
Like, so I watch a lot of that sort of stuff, like just to have a rough idea what's going on.
If that top 10 segment, for example, catches my eye, where Randy Orton's RKO'd Beth Phoenix, for example. Yeah. And that's one that stood out to me, and that's what's.
I'll then go look for
I'll then go and watch the whole segment because I want to know how it led to that RKO. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that segment was fucking class, by the way.
Yeah.
Randall Keefe, well done, lad.
Yeah.
But
I think for me as well, social a lot for me as well, because obviously the Monday after an event
spoils it, doesn't it?
Like,
Spoils
it doesn't even say like spoiler. Don't click on the link if you don't know.
Yeah.
Literally, you'll have the new champion holding the belt up.
Like,
and you're like,
that's your first post.
Cheers, mate.
You go on Instagram, WWE have fucking spammed you, mate. They've ruined your life.
And it's like
your Monday's ruined.
And it didn't happen back in the day, mate. You used to have to watch it after school. When you got back, you know, when you could watch it on your recording back.
Stay away from that annoying cunt kid who stayed up and watched it. Like,
Exactly.
Fuck off, dickhead. I don't want to know.
Spoiler alert, if you don't know that kid, you were that cunt.
And, you know what I mean? Spoiler alert, it wasn't me. Can you believe that? Like, he genuinely wasn't me.
I used to have to wait till like Wednesday till like my mate watched it, and then he borrowed me the tape to give it to him back for Thursday to tape Raw on the Friday.
Raw. Nice. Nice.
Raw
That's good, daddies.
He didn't have loads of videos lying about, mate. You used to have to use one video. That was it.
Jeez.
Keep recording over.
Ken's first birthday party. Not anymore, fucker.
Mum, soldier, doing that tape over.
So,
bit of sellotape over the top to stop it.
Oh shit! So, tell me if I'm out of place here, but both entrances reminded me of Glacier versus Mortis.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but they probably didn't spend half as much as they should have.
In terms of the money, or
no, I mean WCW, they spent more than.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I like
fake fire things over here, like, you know.
I love that. It's like the cousin, the wacky inflatable arm waving tube guy, just having evolved into arms yet. It's just wacky inflatable body.
You know, at Gilbert Smart, when I had to run out and attack you during that rumble, right? Yeah. You know, they had them sort of fire flame gimmicks, didn't they? Yeah. I genuinely had to like shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, genuinely dodge it because I thought it was fire.
Oh my God, this fabric.
It's only since I've watched the fucking footage back that I'm like, dickhead, they ain't real. But I didn't see him for my tag match.
I need to get that footage so I can fucking spam you fucking stupid post as well.
That's the intro. That's the intro of the show.
You've already played an editor's rib on me. Hit the intro. So let's get into it. Let's do match 2. So I thought Xia Li, like I said, was going to the babyface leading into the match. But she was booed on her entrance. Her entrance was quite dark until she danced with a sword. She hands over the sword to the sword handler, who is apparently called Bo, who then just stands around at ringside, which I was like, oh, what's he doing there? Obviously, he gets involved a little bit later as we go along. Also, that entranceway, that walkway, I didn't notice that in the first match.
Yeah, I think it was only at the end of this match, after the match, I noticed. I was like, what the fuck? There's a ramp. Like, it's a...
That's what I'm saying. It's a flat ramp straight into the ring, like WCW, what AEW now do, you know, things like that. I was like, what the fuck's this?
Yeah, it's odd.
I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it the entire first match, which that first match went 30 minutes and 40 seconds. Like, how the fuck did I miss it? Clearly, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
I'd say the match was that good I didn't even notice.
Oh,
Imagine
and there you go.
How funny would it be if the wrestlers didn't notice? It was like that patch of ice, where somebody's videoing this one patch of ice and people keep slipping over. Like wrestlers keep falling off this one ramp.
That's funny. I like that. So at the beginning, they go for the lockup. It's quite an aggressive start. They fall through the bottom rope. This is actually where I noticed that all the commentators, including Beth Phoenix, is wearing a tux, which I thought was class.
Yeah.
They talked about the attendance being the most that they've had in the venue. And Xia Li is in control for a lot of the match until kicking the ring post. She does take back control within a couple of minutes of that, but everything she now attempts is delayed due to the injury. And then, I'm just going to skip ahead to the finish, to be honest with you, because it wasn't a long match. It was 7 minutes, 40 seconds. And there was a beautiful cliffhanger, as it was described by Wade Barrett, Bob Martinez, that's worth checking out. But Xia Li wins out of absolutely nothing with what I can only describe as a trouble in paradise, which the commentators avoided calling it that for obvious reasons. They just called it a kick of sorts, but it's a trouble in paradise, 100%. That's what it was. 7 minutes, 40 seconds, 2 stars.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like I said, I ain't got a clue what fucking happened. I was fucking bedazzled by everything, all the fucking gimmicks and the fucking drama. It's just, I don't know what was going on, man. Some mad looking fucking scarecrow bitch or something that was fucking coming out. It might be like,
we'll go into that. We'll go into that.
But when you get you got like a bit of a fever and you got like you hallucinate and stuff. This is what I felt like I was. Did I dream?
That's what I'm saying. Glacier Mortis, right? It gives them vibes.
It was crazy, man.
I'll give it into an alternate universe.
Yeah, 2 stars as well.
Okay.
I've given it 2 stars as well because I actually really enjoyed the action these two had. It was up to this point, it was a different feel. They were striking. It felt more of a fight, which I enjoyed that. Afterwards, I could give a fuck about the Blood Runs Cold storyline. If I was in a more of a harsh mood, I'd have probably knocked it half a star down because of that.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed this match between these. So
let's just go through what happens after the match. A chair's brought in to inflict more damage. That's reversed. Martinez uses the chair on not only the sword handler, but Xia Li. Mae Young finally stands up and heads towards Martinez like she was Linda McMahon at WrestleMania 17 after a second chair shot on the platform. Then, out of nowhere, she delivers the Meng, or the Ming, as he was called at the last event that we covered at the Great American Bash. Mingy Meng. The good old throat grip returns. And she literally throws Martinez from the platform to the steel guard railing, which I felt was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Then they go into a vaccine advert, which is then immediately followed by a Peacock advert that includes lots of Steve Carell, which I can't complain about.
Yeah.
I'll just say as well, if like Ember Moon and this character got together as a tag team, it would be Ming Moon, which is one of my favourite all-you-can-eat buffets that you can find on Stafford Road in Wolverhampton.
Not being sponsored, just you really like.
No, just be Ming Moon.
You can get 10% off there with the code HOTTAG10.
You can.
You can get 100% off if you go with a shotgun and say, give me all the fucking money. It's an interesting code.
You're not getting fucking fed though, are you, dickhead?
Yeah. No, you're getting all the fucking money. You run out and carry a bag full of food. Just
you have all the food you want sitting in that cell, bro.
Fucking shotgun. Yeah. More fucking egg foo young.
That's class.
Get some more fucking lettuce on there. I love my yucks. Anyway.
Oh shit. Okay. So we then go to Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa, who cut a promo that starts quite chilled until Thatcher just loses his shit, which was hilarious. And then Ciampa obviously joins in, and then they disappear very quickly at the end.
Yeah.
Which is great. I'm gutted that they're not on the card in that tag team match that he's advertised for the
That'd
TV
be a good match.
show. I think it will be a great match. Yeah,
I actually watch it because that promo sort of taught me in a little bit.
hooked him in. They've hooked him in. They've done the job. Poppy, we mentioned earlier, her music turns on, but we then go straight to the ladder match graphic, which is followed by a video package with $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase himself. Interesting point. They show Ted with the WWE title around his waist when he's talking about chasing gold back in his day, even though WWE do not currently recognise this as an official title reign. Now, what's your stance on that, lads? Do you think, like, in case obviously people don't understand or don't know the situation, Andre the Giant defeated Hulk Hogan for the WWF title on a Saturday Night Main Event episode when the twin ref gimmick was pulled. Earl and Dave, who famously known for selling merch out the back of the van in the WWF, they did the old Bella Twins trick, the old switcheroo. And Andre the Giant, fast count, 1, 2, 3, wins the title. Ted turns up with Virgil, Martin's best mate, obviously. But obviously, Don, you love him even more than Martin, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there we go.
In his top 5, yeah, that's right.
Top 5.
My top 5
Godwin,
is
of course.
fucked.
Phineas Godwin, Virgil. Well, that's it. I've only got 2 for you.
It's such a good top 5. I need 2.
Mate, exactly. You've said it. No Age Outlaws. They only need 6 great matches, don't they? There you go.
All right, Mark, calm down.
Ahmed Johnson. Also, so Andre the Giant is then paid off to hand over the WWE Championship to the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Hogan, it doesn't work. It's quickly fucking stripped and it's put into obviously the championship tournament at WrestleMania 4. So that's the backstory. Ted DiBiase did wear it around his waist after Andre gave it to him.
Who won that title?
What's your thoughts? Oh, yeah, the Macho Man. Ooh, dig it. WrestleMania 4, baby.
And then how long did it take Hogan to get back off him?
12 months.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it was WrestleMania
5.
When
the mega powers explode. Oh, yeah. Dig it.
Are we not talking about Sean Mooney?
Elizabeth.
Same point fucking talking while he's doing his fucking Macho Man shit.
Elizabeth. Go on, Sean Mooney, what?
No, the true mega powers is Sean Mooney and Todd Pettengill. We've already discussed this. Did they wrestle the WrestleMania 5?
In the main event for 45 minutes solid.
Mark, just quickly, merch idea. Can we get Todd Pettengill? You know the post WrestleMania 5 where it's the face off? Yes. WrestleMania
Also,
5.
Let's just fucking digress. Did Ted DiBiase, in your opinion, hold and should be recognised as the WWE champion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sort your shit out, WWE. Sort your shit out.
What do you think? Put your comments below.
I agree. Fuck the fans. I agree that I'm the Rain Man.
No, thing was,
fuck him.
There's a lineage to that title. If he's got the title by hook or by crook, he's still got the title.
Look at WCW, right? Look at when Kevin Nash, right, comes out after winning the title from Jeff Jarrett in 2000 and then goes, here you go, Rick. Who loses it on the same night to Double J.
Yeah.
What the actual fuck?
Is that registered as the Ric Flair?
It is.
Of course it is.
It's actually recognised by WWE as well.
Yeah.
It's one of his 16 reigns, that is.
Yeah.
Fuck you now.
He's just, mate, it's all fucking corrupt. He's a fraud. This fucking nature boy.
Greatest player in the game. Do I get that name for nothing?
Right.
Literally. Woo! Ted DiBiase heads to the ring, doing his laugh gimmick as he waves on his protectors of the gold. Is the best way I can describe those two individuals.
Quick question: did anyone else think Virgil was coming out when he waved in?
That would have been fantastic, you know.
He waved like Virgil was about to come
Yeah.
in, and the two lads just drag him off, and they walk out in front of him.
That would have been
would have got me.
fantastic.
He would have been top 5 for that.
Also, DraftKings, they're everywhere these days. Match 3 is for the $1 million championship. In a ladder match, we've got LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes. Your referee who holds the title up is Chris Sharp, but you've also got Daryl Sharma at ringside too. They hook the case with the title, which is a pretty cool visual, rather than, protecting the belt in the case, as it should be, because it's the $1 million championship, not just any title, right?
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
Visually beautiful.
Mm.
It looks.
They should do with every title.
I disagree. I think with this belt, it makes sense, because if Ted's had the belt for what?
Well, it's been sitting in his loft, hasn't it?
Yeah, but he's had now
Since
beautiful
Austin had
case.
it.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, since his son had it.
You think though, he's had this belt, he's looked after it that long, he's going to put it in something. I'm surprised it was like hermetically sealed, like germ free, all this, like, proper like on mental sort of thing. But I loved it. Beautiful visual. Plus, I wouldn't want to drop that.
Do you not think this is another replica?
It did look a bit replica-y, but I'm fine with that.
I think this one was made by Leather by Dan.
Yeah. The other one's in that big warehouse that they've got. The original,
Correct.
It's got to be.
Mm.
So there's an aggressive start as expected, but more jockeying for position rather than fist and kicks. There's a shoulder tackle even to get us started in this ladder match, really, with a bit of comedy from Grimes to take down Knight. There's a ladder joust. They mentioned the England match after a big kick, because they'd beat...
They'd be Croatia?
Don's the football fan. There you have it. You heard it here first.
I had a 1 in 3 guess and I picked right.
You did well. You did well there. It's physical. There's ladders involved. Can I get any more obvious? I think that's a song. There was a neck breaker spot that was probably the highlight for me. On the ladder. Do you know what I mean? I have to point this out and I have to ask what you think. But for me, even though it was a subtle gimmick, the ladder seemed to be color coded. So I felt that this was a signal for the workers to let them know how each ladder can be used. So it was clear that no other ladder except the gold one and the one with the red tape were going to get the title just because of how high they hung it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You'd think, like, because I've watched like WWE stuff and I've seen they can gimmick ladders. So I thought a couple of times, like the bumps that later on in the match happen, I thought there was like, okay, green tape, this one will break, or I
think they've used the right ladder for the LA Knight bump, but I don't think he landed as far over as he could have to snap it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because he sort of bounced and it broke a little bit.
Yeah,
but it didn't give the visual effect I feel they were going for or what we wanted from it.
Exactly, it became Japanese ladder.
I am the ladder.
Right, he said on Bottomania, I've called that now.
Anything to add on the color-coded gimmicks?
Yeah, I think they should have just put something a bit more discreet in place so it wasn't as noticeable. You had an all-black one, like I say, the gold one, and they should have just put like a tape around the bottom, just but. Or just do more black and say fucking Russian roulette, baby. You know what I mean?
And to be fair, that's how it's been. And I think the colour code is not needed. I think they just need to go.
It's positioning, no? It's positioning. You put
and that's what it is.
And
then you could have someone behind the camera directing them if you really wanted to,
or the ref.
Or the ref should know for sure. The ref is more of a producer than a referee these days. Let's be honest. He's getting fucking instructions in his ear, left, right, and centre to go, right, this spot's next, and he's having to communicate with the wrestlers make sure they understand what the next spot is and make sure they're comfortable and they remember it.
Yeah.
And then after the spot, especially if it's a high impact spot, immediately checking their safety. They've got a lot to do, referees, these days.
So
it's not like fucking Earl and fucking Kyoto back in the day, and our man from Jurassic Park 3, Mark Curtis.
Nick Patrick just fucking chilling out at the backstage.
Deciding whether he wants to wear sleeves or not today.
Exactly. So I think the final spot in the match is great in terms of the way that it was all set up. I think from the get-go, when Cameron Grimes come out and he's now a babyface, at the last pay-per-view he was a heel, and he shook Ted DiBiase's hand, I was almost like, yeah, you're not going to win, are you? Because it needs to be a heel that holds this championship for me. And that's exactly what happens. LA Knight climbs the ladder. He takes the title after 19 minutes and 30 seconds. It's a really good ladder match. Not the best of all time, but, we can be a little bit biased on that, can't we? So 3.5 stars, though, for me.
Nice.
I know.
I went, like I say, it's a good ladder match. I think it's just a bit too long for me. I think it just dragged, it was a 20-minute match for two people. 20-minute match in a Money in the Bank ladder match, yeah, but not for two people. Just a bit too long for me. So I went 2.5, just purely on the fact that it just seemed like there was some stuff in there just like for the sake of just being in there just to kill a bit of time or whatever. I don't know. It just seemed like it was just dragged out a bit too much.
I totally get where you're coming from as well. To put it into a little bit of context, the main event was a fatal 5-way match, and that went for 26 minutes and 15 seconds. So, a complete and it didn't feel 26 minutes for me, the main event, because so much was going on, which obviously we'll get into, but just to put a little bit of context around what you're explaining, really, because like you say, a 6-man, 8-man Money in the Bank ladder match can go 25, 30 minutes. And because they're so interchangeable, the spots, just like the fatal 5-way.
You're not clock watching then and stuff.
You're not clock watching.
The fact is, as well, if one person gets hurt, it's fine. Someone else can take the spot.
There you go.
One person gets hurt in a match like this.
Yeah, I think it's just too long for a singles ladder match. I don't know how long Razor and Sean went back in the day, but it's a different type. It's a different, like that was like the first. That was very unseen back in the day. So people was like watching, what's going to happen? Whereas you know what to expect more or less now from a ladder match. So it's got to be very, very different in the approach. Somebody's going to go up the ladder and they're going to get tossed off. They're either going to be fucking split on the bollocks, or they're going to neck throat it. Hit it with your throat. There's going to be spots like that. There's going to be but it's got to be very, very different. It was a good match, but I don't think it was that different to keep me occupied for 20 minutes.
Razor and Sean, who followed Earthquake and Adam Bomb, who went out there for 35 seconds, wrestled for 18 minutes and 47 seconds in their ladder match.
Okay.
And that's a different type of match to me as well. Like, because it was like, again, it's probably because the way it was so simple back in the day that there wasn't expecting. I know there was high spots, but it wasn't. You didn't have to be as inventive back then because there was nothing was benchmarked. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the more it goes on, the benchmark is there. You compare it to these.
I think the benchmark's TLC. I think everything up to TLC, people were working up to. Second they hit the TLC, like that trilogy of TLC matches, everything's been on the decline when it comes to ladder matches because
were those three teams just
stole it
and took it to a next level, and I don't think you can ever beat it. Simple as.
I mean, there's been some good Money in the Bank ladder matches, but they're multi-mans. I think one-on-one, you aren't going to find
Jericho and Sean in 08 that we covered on the watch.
Pretty decent.
A pretty good one, right?
Yeah, but they had a lot of inventive stuff in there as well, like with the hanging off. I think Jericho was upside down at one point as well.
Yeah.
Off this 20-foot ladder, or it was a bigger ladder, wasn't it? That they had in the middle at the end. But yeah, I think it's just, I'm not knocking it at all, but it's just too long.
No.
I
Fair
think these
comment.
matches nowadays, like when it comes to ladder matches, they should be multi-man.
Yeah,
I think they
get
just
the best out of them. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. I think they suit
We
a
enjoy them
multi-man
more, don't
format.
we?
Yeah,
and it's not
of them
even
aren't
like
bad. They're
it's
not
not
bad
even
at all.
it's not a blow off match either to end a rivalry. It isn't that anymore. It probably used to be potentially. Or has it ever been used as a blow off match to determine
Triple H and The Rock, SummerSlam '98?
Eddie versus Ray.
Where the fuck is
Dominic.
Vicky?
Yeah,
It's happened a couple of times.
Yeah,
For Dom. For Dom. Not for the briefcase. For Dom.
Yeah, for a child. But yeah, I went 3 stars. I actually really enjoyed this match. I love that neck breaker spot.
Yeah.
And I thought the ladder bumps, like near the end of the match, it was like such a nice swerve to sort of go, oh, well, clearly Grimes is going to win. All of a sudden, now get off. So
pretty much.
I think it was a good match. I'd say 3 stars.
Nice. LA Knight got pyro and presentation as Ted DiBiase did his best laugh gimmick impression in the back. Did you work a show with him, Mart, Mr. $1 Million Man?
Nah,
was you around at that point before your time?
Yeah,
fair dues.
Was it after your time?
Well, after my time, mate. Ultimo Dragon was the only import up until I come back and worked the Rascal show, really. No, sorry, tell a lie. Robbie E. Bushbury, loser. Yeah. So, shooting. I love it. Todd's back. Fuck the merch gimmicks. He talks about merch. Who he gets called Tony. He gets called Tim. He gets called something else. Maybe even Trevor. Who cares? It's a group called Hit Row that I'm not familiar with, but I believe this group consists of Isaiah, Swerve, Scott, who is the leader, with Top Dollar, AJ Francis, Ashanti D, Adonis, and B-Fab, Brianna Brandy. I hope I've done that justice and got that correct. But I'm really not familiar with them. Tanae, can you help me out there?
I think they've only just recently formed, I think the last month or two. So,
nope.
Other than Swerve, I think the rest are sort of call-ups, so to speak.
Yeah, from developmental.
Yeah.
OV.
They're in develop. Yeah, they're the developmental of developmental.
Get ya. So there's a backstage brawl segment with Pete Dunne and Karen. That's right, Karen Cross, I'm going to call him.
Aaron just got really annoyed at some.
Regal's a very busy man, as he always is, I feel. Yeah. But this is clearly going to lead us somewhere at the end of the show, as spoiler alert, that something happens. But
called foreshadowing.
It is called foreshadowing. I think they set it up really well in hindsight now, and we've got the beauty of that because we watched the whole show. But then we get the graphic for the women's title match. It's Ember Moon taking on Raquel Gonzalez for the NXT Women's Championship. Raquel is the champion. She's with Dakota Kai. And the referee is Adja Smith. So Ember Moon, for me, still has one of the best entrances of the modern day. The gear, the music, the actions, it just all works. What do you think, lads?
I've written down, I went, in my notes, I think she might actually be the best all-around women's wrestler on either roster.
Wow.
Like NXT or WWE main.
And this isn't a bad thing. This is just how I feel about it. So she come up to Raw. She did a bit. She did well. She got injured. She's gone away. She's come back now. She's chunkier. But I think that's better. I think that adds to everything that she does, and the way that she now works it's had to change because of her injuries.
She's
incorporated. But sometimes, just like Stone Cold Steve Austin, just like Shawn Michaels, it often makes them better workers, and I feel the same about Ember Moon.
To be fair, that Shawn Michaels back injury didn't stop him from jumping on the fucking turnbuckles into the tables outside, did it? Do you know what I mean?
Not really.
Yeah, but he had the power of God to help him through that.
Oh, yeah, he did.
And don't forget, Mart, he found his smile. I mean, he's fucking Yoda these days, for God's sake.
that foreshadow for something? No, but I personally, I think her style of wrestling, it's very different from when she started, but it suits her so much more now. And she can still do all like the high spots she used to do.
Yeah.
But if anything, this is an improvement. If you
do you think as well, obviously, like, you know, it's the NXT is the developmental, you get put up to the main roster. Do you think like the women of NXT would be not pushed more, but like succeed more, have more success on the main roster than, say, a male? Because you look at Aleister Black, you look at Keith Lee, a lot of male superstars have just not cut the mustard, have they, to be honest? And is that the reason why?
Do you think that's
Adam
a little
Cole's
bit of
still
a
there?
hangover? Do you think that's a little bit of a hangover from Finn Balor getting injured?
I just don't
No
think
fault of his own.
I just don't think the writers know what to do with them when they go up.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn make their own shit, don't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah. There'll be
And
certain
you know
guys
what?
who
They're the two standouts, probably.
And I don't see nothing wrong with, and obviously Seth Rollins, he's gone up and made a lot.
Yeah.
There's arguments for a lot of
Reigns
people.
as well.
Reigns, Ambrose, I suppose.
I think just late. I mean, just lately. It's
We're
not been-
talking the modern era, because that NXT in Full Sail University, for example,
it was like Florida Championship Wrestling.
and
was,
before that was Florida Championship Wrestling. We're talking Florida Championship Wrestling era into Full Sail, which is I would class Full Sail as your Bo Dallas onwards from there.
Yeah.
Before that, the likes of your Seth Rollins and so on and so forth.
Yeah. I just feel like the women have a bit more of a success. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I think it's a little easier because it's a smaller roster of women.
Well, maybe it's just because they haven't gone back down. They've just been fucking got released, like the fucking Iconics and Lana and, you know, all that type of thing. But, you know, you got Carmella.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah, it's like they get rid of Ruby Riott.
Sasha.
Yeah.
Bailey.
But they bring back Eva Marie.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
I just feel like it's a bit more, like, I might be wrong, I don't know the actual statistics, but I think just off the top of my head, I can think that the females have got a bit more success. So maybe it's good.
And think about your likes of Ciampa, Gargano, Cole, O'Reilly, the mainstays of NXT now, right? They could be on Raw or SmackDown every week, without a doubt. But would they have something for them?
No.
The thing is, though, as well, I think everybody's getting too tied up.
The matches would be limited as well.
But I think everybody's getting too tied up in the fact that Raw and SmackDown are the elite. But you know what? NXT is coming up as its own third brand, which I think it has been pushing for a while. So
when they did the Survivor Series,
just because you're not on Raw or SmackDown doesn't mean that you've not made it.
Absolutely.
You still under that umbrella of WWE.
Raw, SmackDown, and NXT is like its own third. It's got to be
NXT have their live events as well. Like they do their house shows. They're a touring company now. It's not just
what I mean.
TV show every week.
And you know what? I'd pick NXT over fucking main roster WWE any day. Just recently.
I think a lot of us would.
To be honest, like WWE have been after a third brand for quite some time. They tried it when they brought ECW. Yeah. That clearly didn't work.
It's booked for the fans rather than booked for some mad delusional fucking 70-odd-year-old.
Yeah, who can change the show 45 minutes before it goes live.
I just think, I think it's the main roster's lost its way a bit with that. But
I think 90% of the stuff on NXT is written better because the people who are writing for them know the characters.
But they've tapped into that ICW, that Fight Club Pro, that Progress, that independent feel, the lighting, the darkness, the crowd. The ring. There's a reason why the match is black. There's a reason why everything's black and caged, and there's a reason for that because it's dark. It's very independent looking. The lighting just over the ring. You know what I mean? And that's a good feel. That's a good feel. Yeah, for me anyway.
Nice. I like that we've gone from Ember Moon's entrance and everything involved there into a whole entire different rant about modern day wrestling, which is great. We do get the title gimmick announcement, which I loved. I think it was strong. It was a solid presentation. It was a solid start to the match with an equally good cut-off spot. There was beautiful spots. The one especially leading into the spinning senton from the middle. I thought that was extremely nice from Raquel Gonzalez.
Raquel?
Raquel.
It's fucking only fools and horses, man. That's it. Every time you say that,
Dale, boy. Dale, come on, Dale.
If that's how she spoke.
Rodney, would you fucking tell Raquel we're going down a fucking pub? We've got to sell some fucking gold chains, mate.
That was a snippet from Only Fools and Horses if it was real and not just a comedy show.
Literally, there you go. The solid shots throughout the match. Dakota Kai does get involved, but I felt she got involved at the right places, which ultimately led to the payoff in the match too. This is where I noticed that Beth is not just wearing a tux, she's wearing a sparkly gold tux.
How the fuck did you not see this before?
Well, this is what I'm saying. This is where I noticed it in match 4 or 5. She has me looking at her like she's Columbia from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And obviously, as an avid Meatloaf fan, she is one hell of a hot patootie, if you get what I'm trying to say there. Can't even speak because she's that hot. Hot damn!
It would have been hot under them lights, though, with all them fucking sequins on that motherfucker.
That's true.
You imagine, I'm surprised she went like signaling spaceships from space. Just like one move of the arm and the Martians come.
That's it. So Blackheart finally turns up to help Moon because she was advertised as in Ember Moon's corner until the match graphic, really, and then she just wasn't there. Moon nearly wins on a couple of occasions. Dakota Kai obviously helps with the feet on the ropes. I think I'd been to Amsterdam by this point, so I wasn't too sure. She catches the Eclipse, which is reversed into a Snake Eyes eventually, then a powerbomb combination for the win. Yeah. So Raquel Gonzalez retains the NXT Women's Championship in 12 minutes, 40 seconds. I've gone 3 stars. Wow.
I enjoyed this match. I thought there was, I think I'm a really big fan of the modern day female wrestling because I think it's just the journey from watching, and don't get me wrong, I love Lita and Trish, all that type of thing, but it's different level. And if they are considered Hall of Famers, revolutionary, wrestlers, this set of wrestlers are going to be like, God knows what they're going to be like in
first ballot
15, 20 years time. Do you know what I mean? Because the it's got to be the training, the mentality, but the female wrestling now is, holds its own, definitely, by far. And I really enjoyed it. And I'll put 3.5 stars for this one.
Nice.
I went 3 stars. Just in sort of from what Martin was saying. The thing is, back in the day, women were trained as women. Where nowadays, like, okay, you're a woman, you're trained like everyone else.
You're on equal rights. It's going to be treated like equals, yeah.
But if this is the product you're getting out of that, then I'm all the fuck for it. Exactly. I love this match.
It probably just shows the lack of training, maybe, and the lack of investment back in the day. Yeah, Trish and Lita and everybody could have put these type of matches on.
There was maybe 5 women back then that could wrestle like that.
For an example,
of a roster of maybe 30.
For an example, the WrestleMania that's just been, Tyson Kidd produced all of the women's matches at WrestleMania. Yeah. Now, when you've got a brain like that, who, for me, he could be compared to a Dean Malenko of the day.
Yeah,
he could be. He injury aside, which has obviously stopped him from being in the ring.
A lot of his matches are very innovative as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's now able to go, do you know what? You can do that.
Yeah.
So he's how to do it, and let's try it, and puts it on and puts a match together beautifully.
I reckon he's just been left to it as well. Just like Triple H just said, or whoever's in charge said, look, you
sort Tyson deal with it.
Yeah.
The road agents of today are a lot better than they were fucking back when we were watching it in 97. Bar Pat Patterson.
Yeah.
The best Finnish booker ever. Yeah. Without a doubt.
Yeah. There's been loads of stories about Pat Patterson where like they've said, oh, this is the finish. Like, well, why don't you do it like this? And I haven't got a drink left.
There you go.
But like Pat Patton said, like, this, do like this, and everyone's like, oh, fucking hell, yeah, that makes sense.
Sometimes all it takes an outside the box perspective.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like,
look, him trying to put himself over. That's good.
No, I just think it's like you look at something from one perspective, and like you go, okay, that's the only way you're going to think. If someone goes, well, look at it this way, like,
then Don comes in with a wrecking ball, and all of a sudden it's 5 stars. -5 stars.
Get my shit on Bottomania one day. I will. One of these days, Gadget.
Back to it, because it's Don's favourite spot of the evening, where Todd Pettingale is back, not only putting over the retain of the titles, but karate fighters.
Yes.
With Dexter. What a segment.
I think I've got rid of my nods. Todd, oh Todd, can I play karate fighters with you? This is before Dexter Loomis came out. And I was
fantastic.
I'd still play that.
Put it on a post-it note.
Tell me
he looked fun. He looked fun.
Bring that shit back, WWE. You sitting on a gold mine there.
Absolutely.
Modern day wrestlers are articulated, just fucking hitting a button. They're going.
It's obviously going really well until Todd decides to make small talk and ask how the women are treating him these days, which he's pissed at, destroys karate fighters, and fucks off. We get an American Bash advert. We've just covered the Great American Bash from 1997. That's available on our YouTube channel and Spotify and anywhere else that you might find a podcast.
Spotify in about 3 weeks.
Spotify in about 3 weeks, because it takes a little bit of time to upload there for some reason. I don't know what the crack is. Beth botches the title, so that's funny.
Hall of Famer.
Enter video package. Gargano comes through the door, which was hilarious. They fixed Adam Cole's music, where they finally get the boom right. Yeah. And then why were we in Blade for Karen?
Blade.
I thought I was in Blade 1, at the beginning, where all the flashing lights and the bloodbath. Yeah, I thought I was in Blade 1.
Well, Triple H was in Blade Trinity, wasn't he? So that's a bit of a reference to that, isn't it?
There you have it.
Yeah, but Blade Trinity wasn't exactly the best of the 3. So
I mean, fucking hell, Don.
Blade 2,
like that.
Blade 2,
nice.
Blade 3 had a Chihuahua that was a fucking vampire.
Beat that bitch.
Beat that.
Blade 2 had a story.
So did Blade 1.
I love the fact we're all arguing a separate Blade film.
Literally, jobber number 2, he's arguing for jobber number 3 story there. I would rate them in numerical order. So 1 being top, 2, then 3. Sorry.
You wouldn't. We're not even going to consider the TV series because
what?
That's the order of Wesley Snipes just giving a shit. Really, he's done the first one. He was like, "Yeah, this is dead good," and he was like,
"Second one, I can make some money on this." Third one, I've got to be careful with the tax.
What's that film with Wesley Snipes and fucking Tommy Lee Jones? What's that one called?
Oh,
Negotiator.
Yeah,
amazing. Better than Blade.
Negotiator.
Anyway.
What is it?
Nah, probably not.
Denzel, ain't it?
That's Denzel. I don't know what the film is.
Denzel.
Did it have Denzel in it? Because that means it was good. Also, can we just talk about how Jenny from Forrest Gump only went back to Forrest when she had AIDS? Can we just dissect that for a minute?
Yeah, fuck you, Jenny. End of conversation.
I mean, that guy went running.
I'm fishing.
No, he went to her. He was waiting at the bus stop from the very start, going to her. That was the whole story.
He got shot in the buttocks.
I thought she was dead by that point.
No, that's the end of the film. And then the woman says, "You've been talking to me for ages.
If you've not seen Forrest Gump,
you've been talking to me for ages. You've been waiting for the bus."
Jenny's died.
No, he said the apartment block you're looking for is just down the road. And this is the end of the film. And he's like, "Oh, okay." Because he's telling the story, sitting on the bench all the way through. And then she said it's down there. And then he goes to her apartment and she's there, alive. She says she's got cancer. She's got AIDS.
But doesn't she like go back to the house, like my mama's house,
'Cause he
when
says,
she's got AIDS?
Because she's got cancer, and he's like, I'll look after you, Jenny. You and little Forrest come to my house. That's what he says.
Was this like a deleted scene off this
Lieutenant
pay-per-view I
Dan.
missed?
We'll get married. Lieutenant Dan's my best man. And you can walk. Lieutenant Dan, you got legs.
I run a shrimp boat.
Yeah. Lieutenant Dan, you got legs. Walking, Lieutenant Dan.
I really miss this in the build-up of the main event. Like, it's like a deleted scene.
And then, you know what happened?
You
You know, fucking him out of Happy Gilmore with the handshake, the hand.
Oh,
He turned up.
he started speaking about his new weight loss system.
Talking about how much shooting McGavin's a cunt.
Who's that? Cole Weathers.
Oh, Weathers, yeah. He was in the jungle once with a yout chap.
Is that who he was?
Yeah, that was Cole Weathers.
Anyway.
It was Apollo Creed, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Match 5. Match 5 is for the prestigious Forest of NXT
Forrest
Championship, sponsored by Forrest Gump. Johnny Gargano, who him and the Way were dressed as the Click, which was good. Take on Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, Adam Cole, and the champion, our good old friend Karen Cross, who is with Scarlett, who then just disappears for this entire match, and then spoiler alert, turns up at the end. The referee is D.A. Brewer. There's a lot of high spots in this, so if I rattle on a bit, I apologise. There was a lot to capture, and there's 26 minutes and 15 seconds of action, and it's non-stop. Total action, some people would say.
Non-stop action.
Did you like that one?
I did, yeah. Shouldn't keep doing more often.
I'll try my best.
Thank you.
Everyone,
TNA meant something different in my day.
It meant
TNA
the same.
still means something different in my day.
Okay.
Titanass, show us that Titanass.
Oh, I thought you meant like great tag team testing Albert. No.
Are they in your top 5 of tag teams then?
Yeah.
We're all reading from different hymn sheets here today.
Test. Yeah.
This is a test.
I thought you were Gangrel for a second then. Seeing as we've been a Blade movie, you know.
Seriously, that's a cameo though they missed out on though, really. Could have had Gangrel in one of the Blade movies.
No, he's going to be in Interview with the Vampire remake.
Only after he's been in the
after he's got out of the porn business.
No, he's in the fucking Glacier movie. What's it called?
The Replacements.
David Heath's in it. David Heath's in it.
Oh, is
Dude,
it?
I've told you, when this film comes out on DVD, I'm buying it. We will watch this.
When it comes out.
Do not think I'm joking about this.
Fucking Todd Pettingill over here with his fucking VHS. What a cunt.
Fuck off. That was a combi and I'd pay good money for that nowadays.
Literally. So everyone seems to have a high spot with the champion at the beginning, who shines well. It's a bit Roman. Make Roman look strong, but in our case, it's make Karen look strong. It's highlighted by a double suplex on Gargano and Dunne. There's a couple of that throughout, really. Double this and a double that. And then the rest of them have their own little shines, really. Different sort of things, submission spots, forearms. Pete Dunne with his gimmick. Gargano and Dunne eventually put Karen through the front door. I'm sorry for calling you Karen, but it's stuck now.
Knocking at the front door. Sorry,
There's
that's
somebody's
knocking at the door.
Somebody at the door. Somebody at the door.
There's nobody at the back door.
Well, that's what you think.
I've got Richard Ayoade singing about One Track Love in my mind now. Son of a bitch.
Anyway, there's loads of good spots that I'm going to cross over. The crowd appreciate everything. This is awesome. Does break out without the audio input. There's loads and loads and loads of spots. It's just pure fucking carnage, and I absolutely love it. And Cross at one point, our mate Karen, gives us the Adam Cole bye-bye before delivering a German suplex on Cole, which I thought was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
And Cole and O'Reilly eventually, not long after this spot, give each other the look. We're best friends, aren't we? And powerbomb Karen onto the table, not through the table, onto the table. There's 13 minutes left.
The table. Sorry, I
it's fine. There's 30 minutes left of the event at this point in time, and the remaining 4 go back into the ring to kick the fuck out of each other. And there's double submissions. It leaves Dunn and O'Reilly to then fight it out. It's just a great match. I can't put it over highly enough. You really do need to go and check it out if you haven't seen it. Everyone does get a chance to put themselves over and deliver good spots throughout. Double super kick on Pete Dunne. That was good.
Doing a moonsault at the same time.
While he's doing a moonsault,
let's
which is
put that over.
the great part about it.
Yeah.
I slowed that down, and I pressed pause at the right time.
Just to see where he caught him, Mark.
He caught him flat on the face.
Nice.
It was dead good. I thought now he's caught him in the chest or whatever. No, as he was like literally upside down, one of them's caught him raw on his face.
Eat that Shawn Michaels and Shelton Benjamin.
Dead
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Then there's a double Gargano escape applied. Cole finally hits the Panama Sunrise after about 3 attempts during the match. He gets pulled out and brainbusted on the floor. Dunn then calls Cross in, who Karen stands up back around the announce table. Them two go at it in the ring. Hits the bitter end. It's an early kick out for me. He doesn't really sell it as long as he possibly should. Dunn puts him straight in a triangle choke. He's elbowing his head like it's UFC or some shit as well, adding some real legitimacy to the match. It's broken up by the others involved in the end. Cross then goes for the cross jacket on Dunn, who's able to reverse it by manipulating so that that gimmick that we were on about earlier. He does that. The fingers. Gargano hits the sweetest spike DDT on Pete Dunne, followed by a multitude of other moves. The psychology and timing throughout this entire match is just on point. What a goddamn match. There's a super kick party. You can never go wrong with one of those. O'Reilly transitions into a submission on Cole, hooks both legs, who's teasing tapping. He's close to tapping. That's the microphone. Karen then pops in the cross jacket on O'Reilly during the same time that Cole is in the leg lock submission. Eventually, O'Reilly does fade. He's out. No one's available to break it up. And for the 3rd time on the night, the champion retains. No championships changed hands on this card. Still NXT champion. He's our mate Karen. Scarlett, like I say, just appears out of nowhere again. Where the fuck was she? Where the fuck was Scarlett?
She wasn't needed, was she?
No.
Clearly she wasn't.
No.
Which I like that. Yeah.
Which puts into the question of, like, is she needed for anything else? If she isn't needed against 4 other people, then is she needed? What that's like probably like buried her a little. Like, that's buried her a little bit, maybe.
I think she's
does she get involved though? Like, does she get involved?
Not physically.
I don't think she needs.
I think
right?
she's
He's
more
a big dude.
That's what
he
I mean.
Can talk. He's a good talker as well, but he uses.
She's just there for the appeal, ain't she?
Yeah,
that's all.
It is his wife,
yeah.
so I get.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It actually is
double payday. I like that. That's good. That is okay. Good, fair play. He's looking after the missus.
Come to work for a few weeks.
26 minutes, 15 seconds, 5 stars.
Wow.
Yeah. What?
Okay. See, I went 4 stars. I don't know if I went a bit obviously a bit low than what other people was thinking. It was good.
Speak your truth, buddy. Speak your truth.
There was a lot of stuff in it, to justify 5 stars, but I don't know. I think there could have been probably a bit more in terms of maybe instead of doing all the, I wasn't a big fan of a lot of double stuff all the time.
There was a lot of that. There was a lot of that.
It worked a couple of times, and I get like the double teaming, like to get rid of the big guy and all that sort of stuff. I get that, but it was more the double submissions. I just didn't. I get it, but I don't get it.
You know what I liked about it is we're talking about a fatal 5-way, which in essence is a no disqualification match. So you can use chairs, tables, ladders, whatever, right? There's two elements of a hardcore style match in this, which is throwing him through the door at the beginning and powerbombing him on the table. No other weapons are used throughout, which I would prefer weapons because I like it when you're telling a story with weapons. Obviously, we've had a ladder match. A chair was involved slightly with the Mercedes Martinez match at the end, obviously. But I think
happened to the good old ring bell.
Well, there you go. I think some things could have been done in this to enhance it more. And I would have then rated it 6 stars.
Don? 5 stars. Everything about this match was fucking spot on. I can get you argument of what you're saying about the whole hardcore. Like, if it's hardcore, why doesn't someone just use weapons? For me, the story of the match though was that Karen, dominant champion. I mean, she's taken the belt off Balor, not been pinned or submitted since being in NXT. So this is a Goldberg streak now. But you put him up against arguably for the best singles wrestlers in that.
Building him to take on someone like Brock Lesnar in the future, do we think?
I've heard rumors that maybe even Orton, because they've had a bit of a back and forth online.
Orton does that with everybody. Fuck Matt Riddle while we're at it.
But in fairness, I mean, from what I understand of our Karen, he sort of said, "Go on then, let's make some money together." So it's like, wait, is this a story or is this shoot now? I'm confused. But I love
go with it. See where it goes.
I love the little things, mate. Like John being put over like he could have legitimately won at one point.
Nice England kit as well, tribute from Pete.
I think they did that because Barrett was on commentary.
Beast killing me.
Can we talk about Gargano HBK gear? That was fucking beautiful.
Gargano.
Yeah. I think my notes for this entire match is
he even wore his headband because now he's bald. He wears a headband like
HBK like inspired gear on Gargano.
My man out of fucking Home Alone.
Marv.
The other one. After the fucking
Harry.
Yeah,
Harry. Where the fucking hat. He's wearing the hat, and he's wearing the hat, but it burns his head, and
he's got that
turns into a headband.
It is a dead good handstand.
Michaels at Saudi Arabia.
The Wet Bandits. Yeah, my notes for this entire match was HBK inspired gear on Gargano. Nice. Holy shit, what a match. 5 stars. That was my entire notes.
Great match.
I couldn't turn away from the match. And that to me is a sign of a good match when, even with all the chaos going on, I followed the story completely. It made sense.
And the obviously the 4 guys I think carried Karen as well. I'm not saying he's a bad wrestler, but a lot of stuff went on around him.
Yeah.
Which obviously needed to make him look bigger and stronger. A lot of stuff happened without him as well. So I think that was a bit of a downer for me as well. If he was definitely the missing link in like the weakest link, if you like, in that match for me.
It was definitely
not necessarily weak, not bad, but it was the.
You just want him involved a bit. You want him involved a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
link. Goodbye.
Yeah, they're trying to put him over, obviously, as this dominant champ, but he was very limited. Like I say, Robin, very limited to what he was doing in that match. A lot of stuff happened around him when he wasn't there.
In fairness, though, it's not like when he's not there, everyone's just going to stand still. So it's a hard one to pull off because you want to try and show dominance, but you also want to give everyone else, make them look strong.
No need to talk about his sex life.
That more on Spotify. Now, No, I think honestly, this made five very good wrestlers looking better. And I think that's a sign of a good match when everyone involved looks better.
And as we
So that's why
foreshadowed
it's
earlier
5-star.
at the end of the show, Regal does look exhausted. He's walking out the building, and he basically says to Mackenzie Mitchell that he thinks it's time for a change, which ends the show. Obviously hinting at the fact that he's going to step down as general manager of the brand, and someone else is going to come in and take his place. So, rumours
Todd
aspiring. No
Maybe Todd.
chance. No, it won't.
Sean Murray.
No, it won't.
Sean Murray.
Rumours are circling on the intranet of who this could be. Jen has the box. Who do you think it possibly could be?
I've heard rumours that a man named Joseph from Samoa might be returning to take the role.
Seems to be the favourite.
Yeah, considering he's not really in ring ready yet, and
Yeah.
Triple H is fighting his corner to get him back. Then all of a sudden, William Regal resigns from TV as that role. Then
Yeah.
Is there anyone else we can see stepping into this position?
the only thing per person would be is probably Shane McMahon, but whether that's too much in this brand, maybe, I don't know. Because I think he's done quite well with the Raw Underground stuff, to be fair. So
for how little they actually
had, it was very raw and pardon pun, but
that was the point, brother. That was the point.
But it was very indie looking and
it was different,
and, that type of thing,
different aesthetic, and I like that.
Yeah.
I think the only person it could potentially be would be Triple H until he'd find a permanent. But I sort of don't like the idea of him being in any authority on camera.
HBK, maybe he's ready to come back on screen.
In the commissioner.
Yeah.
Look how well he did
Back when he was a
97.
cunt,
I think Samoa Joe is definitely the favourite.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be interesting. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
That's literally all we have time for, really, for this show. Just to let you know, as well as the listeners know, how we have rated this show. So I am gonna compare it to all the 1997 shows that we've rated so far. It's a 5-match card, and we've rated it pretty fucking strongly. Yeah. I feel we've even got 2 5-stars in there, which is class. So, Martin, I'll go to you first. What do you think our overall combined rating of this show is?
Overall, out of 5 stars.
What do you think we've landed on as an average for the 3 of us?
2.5.
2.5. Okay. Don?
Put me down for a 3.
Yep. Okay. Don is closer. We have achieved an average of 3.1 stars for this show, which is very strong. Don, you've rated it the highest at 3.3, followed by me at 3.2. Martin, 3. Compared to our 1997 shows that we've watched so far,
this is on them.
Yeah, it does. It does. The highest that we've rated a 1997 show so far was WWF In Your House 14, Revenge of the Taker at 2.05 stars. So a whole star ahead, realistically, of anything that we've watched in 1997, which I think is fair.
Yeah.
I think it's fair, but also I think a lot of the shows in 97 are more quantity over quality.
Yeah.
Where we've had matches where they've been really highly rated, and then the next match has been a half a star match.
Just shows that you don't have to put a 9-match card on to entertain the fans.
Well, that's the thing with WCW, isn't it? They fucking killed us with 10 matches.
Yeah. And 3, maybe 4 of them were good. We could have cut
that
down. Cut that down to 6 matches. Half the show's good.
And this is the perfect, and I think the NXT Takeover in Brooklyn as well. And I think that had many matches on the card with the Sasha Banks and Bayley main event. And I think Balor was on there as well. Was it Samoa Joe? Maybe, I don't know. But there was, I think it was
yeah.
it Bella? Maybe.
Well,
I think
I don't know.
Dave rates a lot of the NXT matches 5 stars, to be fair. The last WWF match that I could really find when I was looking and just casually looking earlier was Brett versus Austin. I think he has rated maybe CM Punk John Cena as 5 stars
that
from the
might
Money
have
in the
been his
Bank in the
last
pay-per-view.
WWE.
But I really do think that was his last WWE one. However, he's rating AEW TV matches. We're talking Best Friends versus Next Tag Team at 5 stars.
That is actually really good. If you've watched them, they are really good matches. I can see. I think Meltzer's like of wrestling, he definitely likes more of an indie style, like very more fast pace stuff. So I can see why he would lean more AEW.
It's all the cocaine, though, ain't it? That he's
he's catching up from him.
If everything's fucking 100 mile an hour in front of your face, you fucking
literally. We got a match. On that note, that is everything. In the meantime, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more content. And when it's available, it will be on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcasts or watch your podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments if you enjoyed this one. And if you'd like to see more from the modern era, because this is the first time that we've ever done it. But until next time, I've been Rob Campbell alongside.
I am jobber number 2.
And I'm Daniel, sitting on a corner. So which flavour you decide, cornfield?
We got a batch.